Hello there. This is Miss O, and I am taking the video for the fourth grade art piece of the week. This week we are doing part 2 of our Georgia O'Keeffe artwork, and this artwork is a flower because Georgia O'Keeffe made lots of flower drawings, and the flower that fourth graders got in particular is the hibiscus. So last week when you guys saw the video, you worked on this. You made a pencil drawing of your hibiscus flower, and we thought about composition. We took up a lot of the page, and this week, we're going into color. So this one's here just as an example so you can see what the flower looks like, but all we really need right now is the pencil drawing paper because Georgia O'Keeffe's work does not have a bold, strong outline. Her work is soft and more blended. So today is going to be all about blending, and when I do this demonstration for you, I'm going to be doing it with oil pastels. So if you have oil pastels at home, feel free to join me and do the same material, but if you don't, you can use whatever you have, whether that be crayons, chalk, pencils, markers, anything, paint, anything to get some color on here. But if you have oil pastels, feel free to follow along with me and see how I do the blending techniques today. So with the hibiscus flower, the first thing I did was I pulled up on my computer an image of it so that I know what colors it is and what it looks like. So from the flower glossary I shared with you guys, I have a hibiscus flower in front of me and it is pinks. So I'm going to take out the colors that I'm going to be using. It's pinks and peaches. There's some yellow, there's definitely some white, and also a touch of red. So I normally try to choose 3 to 4 or 5 colors because that creates a lot of opportunity for blending, and a lot of times less is more. If I add more than that, it might be lots going on. So we're going to stick with just 3 to 5 colors for right now, and I'm going to think about how can I make this look awesome. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I notice that the hibiscus has a lot of kind of veiny looking lines on the petals, kind of like leaves that we've seen in class before that have the veins on them, those lines. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my pink because it's a bit of a bolder color, and I am going to draw these lines, and they are all coming out from the center, and that's something that's super important with our drawing here today that you're going to see is anytime I draw something that's going out from the center, and sometimes there's one coming off, so it'll come off from the center, and then there's little ones coming off of it. So I'm going to go all the way around my flower and draw these kind of veiny shapes that represent the texture and color and everything. Something I just noticed is that they go right to the edge of the petal, maybe wrap right around it. So I'm going to put that on there too. So I'm looking at that photograph and I'm looking at my flower and the petals. And I'm just going through and gently using my pastel. I try to hold it close to the top so I don't break it into too many pieces. You can see I've already accidentally broken off a piece. That's okay. But the goal is to not do that if possible. Gotta be gentle. So I'm gonna go all the way around my flower, and to each petal I will put on these lines. And this is kind of my first layer, first detail. Once I have this on here and I've determined there's that pinkish color, I'm then going to come in with my peach. And I'm going to take this peach and I'm going to gently fill in, and I'll show you on this top petal. I'm going to gently fill in, and remember I'm drawing away from the center. So I'm gently filling in the spaces around the pink. I kind of go over top, and that's totally okay too. You're going to see the blending that's happening already with that when you go over top. And I'm going to go around until I've completely covered up that petal and I've got all of that pink peach color. At this point you can come in and clean up any white areas, get anything that's going off the page. And then you can determine, okay, does this look like, do I want more pink or do I want more peach in this? And I can come in and I can actually put a layer of pink on top of the peach if I wanted to have a more pinkish look like it does in the photograph. So a lot of times this blending is about layers. You want to have lots of layers. So we first have the vein pink layer, then a peach layer, and now I'm very gently putting in a soft pink layer. You can also decide, okay, I want there to be a bit more pink around the center. So I'm going to do this little darker pink area here. And I'm getting all of that kind of from the flower. So the way that I've layered the peach, pink, and pink again, I'm going to do that to all 5 petals, but I will finish that up after the video just so that you guys can see what the next step is and move on to your own. The next thing that I'm looking at here is actually these red centers that I see coming onto each of the petals. So now I'm going to take my red, and I see that this is a zigzag pattern. So I'm going to go through and do this zigzag pattern, and I'm going to fill in with my red pastel. And I will come in later to blend this. This is kind of just the first initial layer, and I would do that all the way around. So I'll just show you with this first little few, but you would do this all the way around because it has that bright layer. And once again, the pink, if you think, okay, that's a little bit darker than I want it to be, come in with that pink, and when I go over top, you can see the difference. It really softens up that red, but you still have that center color, which I think is pretty important because that red is a big part of the hibiscus. So it's going from that red to the pink to the peach. Now we're blending really nicely here. The same thing actually happens right here on the stigma, I believe it's coming out. So it's red at the center. So I'm going to start with red in the middle. Maybe I start with just kind of a round reddish shape, starts going up. Then it goes to pink. So then I'm going to start with a pink layer here, going to the red. I can go over top of all of it or just part of it. You can always come back with the red, go over top again. The more layering you do, the more textured it'll be and the more three-dimensionality it will have. And actually after this, I think I might come in with a touch of peach. So you can see red, pink, peach, and lastly, white. I'm actually going to make it white all the way at the end here. All right, now I have that beautiful stigma coming out, and now all of these, I want to show those beautiful pollen and all of the color and texture there. The way that I'm going to do this is there's some yellows on here. So each of these, I'm going to come in and they have a bright yellow look to them. So I'm going to put yellow over top of all of these little circles that we created. And then I'm going to look for a different hue, a different color of yellow, maybe a brownish goldish color for the stems that connect them. So then I'll come in and I'll very gently put in these stems that will connect them all together. And there you have it. You could also come in and add a little detail around some of the yellow heads if you wanted to. Totally up to you, but you get the idea of using those yellows, some golden colors to create that polleny piece at the top there. So at this point, after the video, I'll go around. I'm going to do all of these petals the same as this one to create that red, pink, peach, and the veiny color back there. And then make sure, of course, that you get this middle section done as well. And then once you've done that, you will be ready to go, ready for our critique. And I am just so excited to see everyone's pieces. So make sure that you come ready to go, bring your artwork, and make sure you look at some of Georgia O'Keeffe's artwork, and of course also at the hibiscus flower in general. Look up photos on Google, or you can look up at the flower glossary that I shared with you guys. So can't wait to see everyone's work, and I will see you on our Zoom meeting this week.